For me, it was eating without distractions. Which is funny because I actually had a really strong meditation practice for a long time, and one of the things we did was eating meditation, but I never thought about it that way as a tool to actually see what my body wanted and what it didn't want. For me, it was just about like taste at that time. And then when I started eating without distractions and really paying attention to what I was eating and if I enjoyed it or not and if my body wanted it or not, then I was like, oh, wait, I don't actually like eating this thing. Maybe I should eat something else.
Yeah.
Being part of Live More, Weigh Less, the big like aha moment was when we had to treat our body as if it was a person.
Yeah.
And I had never even thought of it that way, and you know, giving her a name. And I think about you know, the negative things that I have said to myself over the years, and this whole piece about if you were saying those things or someone was saying that to someone you really loved, what would you do? And so I envisioned my beautiful niece and thought, man, you know, if somebody said something like that, I'd take them out and just beat them. And I was like, this is what I'm doing to myself in the morning. I mean, no wonder you don't want to go through the day because you've just told yourself you're awful. And so I just stopped. I mean, it was like that moment, it was like, that is it, no more.
So for me, I kind of feel like I always had this idea in my mind that there's like one way you're supposed to look, and then there's the way that you do look, and you're always kind of striving to look this other way. And there was always this like really tiny voice in the back of my head that said like, hey, why is looking that way better than looking this way? And I always kind of shushed it. I always kind of shushed it, but it would kind of like speak up and be like, hey, this story of like that this is the way you're supposed to look, I don't know where that came from and I had no part in it, so maybe you shouldn't buy into that. But I always like shushed it. And then I remember
awesome you had that though.
It was tiny.
I don't know that I
was
must
weird.
have had it, but I don't feel like I did.
But then Sarah started saying, you know, listen to your body, and I kind of didn't know what that meant. Like I was like, I don't know. My body is not talking. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, like that voice is the thing. And it's right. And I need to listen to it. And also she's like, oh, but guess what? It's telling you all sorts of other things too. And all of those things are right.
My turning point came in my body actually while I was in the program. And I became pregnant. And it was actually a freeing moment for me to be in a weight loss program and going, and now I'm gonna gain a ton of weight. And I got to actually use the principles and throw the weight completely out of the picture and actually take I didn't have to separate my body from my heart and my mind anymore. Like they actually got to be one, and being able to like focus on nurturing me to take care of my baby. And luckily I've been able to carry that through after having the baby and having my son.
You know, I would go shopping for clothes and would just brush past the dresses like, oh, when am I ever gonna wear those except like once a year to someone's wedding? And it was always this like, this feeling of like, I think it was like, I'm not good enough. Like I shouldn't shine, I don't need to wear that, like that's too much, that draws too much attention to me. And I just, with my sisters and with my girlfriends that I've gotten this year, like it's become okay, and not even okay, but like celebrated, like, yeah, girl, you're hot, wear that, you know, and it feels so good, and it feels so good to sit among friends, among girlfriends, and be like, damn, you know? And I hadn't realized how much I needed that.
You're beautiful. Love yourself, because I mean, you get one life, you get one body, and you've got to love yourself in order to be able to move forward. And that's what really has happened from working with Sarah. I mean, I just absolutely, you know, I think about that every day.
freeing up of bandwidth is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot of space.
You actually have time to go do all the things you love.
Yeah.
That's
now.
it.
Like,
Right.
I don't think twice about it at
Yes.
all anymore. It's
Yeah.
Yes.
getting shit done.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Don't have time to hate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't time. You just
Yeah.
have to get up and go. And if it means literally you just have to put on a baseball cap because your hair is a mess and that's going to get you out the door, then who cares? You
Right.
can still put on, your red lipstick and go with that hat and get out and just do it.
Being among all these women who all were holding each other up. So it feels like for me the biggest thing and like was sisterhood. Like it all kind of came rushing in that weekend. Like that was my initiation into like, oh, like I finally got everything Sarah had been like all at once. I got it. And it was this start of my journey to just like turn all of this stuff that I'd learned for so long around.
Really being good to my body and like saying the positive affirmations to change my belief patterns around my body and the things that like the monkey mind and what goes on in my head, and then just really listening to her and being like, okay, well, what are you needing right now? And and not just in regards to food, but all this, other things like it's completely changed my life.
When our challenge was to say I love you to our bodies in the shower and like lotion ourselves every day, and I had never used lotion ever. It just never occurred to me to like even buy lotion. So I started doing that, and it just like all of it came together for me, and it was like the first time it actually felt like in touch with my body. So that was like a huge turning point for me.
I went through a period of time where I realized how short life is and how now is the time to do what you love, and you shouldn't spend 8 hours a day at a job you hate and then go home and spend 5 hours of your life loving your life. So I quit my job and realized that it doesn't matter how much I weigh, I deserve to be happy.